In the opening scene, the movie begins at a laboratory in Cambridge University, where scientists are conducting experiments to study a previously undetected virus. Inside the lab, chimpanzees are being used as test subjects to observe the virus's effects. Upon injection, the chimpanzees exhibit aggressive and violent behavior due to the virus. Meanwhile, a group of animal liberation activists, who secretly advocate for animal rights, infiltrate the laboratory. Their mission is to free the animals being subjected to these secretive experiments, believing they are being unlawfully treated and tortured. As they begin freeing the chimpanzees, a doctor from the laboratory tries to stop them, warning about the dangers of the virus they are experimenting with. He cautions that the virus could be highly contagious and potentially dangerous to humans. Ignoring his warnings, they unlock the chimpanzees' cages. During the chaotic release, one of the activists, a girl, is bitten by a violent chimpanzee. Initially seeming unharmed, she suddenly shows signs of illness within moments. Her eyes change color, and she begins to vomit blood, which inadvertently infects her fellow activists. The virus proves to have a more severe effect on humans than on chimpanzees, due to the significant differences between human and animal brains. After the virus causes severe aggression and turns humans into zombies through blood and saliva transmission, chaos ensues. The laboratory doctor tries to stop the infected girl, but she kills him in a fit of rage. The virus spreads rapidly, infecting the entire city and eventually the entire country. 28 days later, Jim wakes up in a London hospital after a long coma, only to find it deserted. Confused and alarmed, he explores the eerily quiet city, plastered with posters of missing people. Entering a church for refuge, he discovers gruesome scenes of decayed bodies. As he tries to comprehend the situation, he encounters zombies inside the church and narrowly escapes with the help of two men who arrive and incinerate the zombies. The men, Mark and Selena, take Jim to their hidden shelter where they have been surviving. Jim learns their names after they remove their masks, and they explain the grim reality of the post-apocalyptic world they now live in. Jim recounts his past to Mark and Selena, revealing he used to deliver couriers by bicycle until an accident erased his memory. Today is his first clear day of recollection. He expresses confusion and disbelief about the current situation. Mark and Selena explain that a virus has devastated the city, leaving them among the few survivors after the government and army failed to contain it. 6 days prior, Jim became the sole survivor in his family. The next day, they accompany Jim to his home, where he discovers his parents' tragic fate. Finding a photo of himself in their hands with a heartbreaking note on the back, Jim breaks down in tears, coming to terms with their loss. They decide to stay at Jim's house, despite the risks of venturing out at night, when zombies are more active. During the night, two zombies attack them, revealed to be Jim's transformed neighbors. They manage to dispatch them, but Mark is bitten in the struggle, making him a danger to others. Reluctantly, Selena ends Mark's life to prevent further harm. Selena and Jim, now the last survivors they know of, spot a building with flickering lights, indicating another survivor besides them. As they climb upstairs to reach safety, zombies give chase, pushing them to their limits. Just as they're about to be overrun, a man named Frank intervenes, saving them and taking them to his fortified house where he lives with his daughter Hannah, both hiding from the zombie horde. Inside, Frank shares news from recent military broadcasts claiming there's a cure for the virus and offering a safe haven for survivors. Selena doubts their motives, questioning why they would suddenly be rescuing people now. Despite her skepticism, they decide their best chance is to head to the location mentioned in the broadcast. On their journey, they encounter a tunnel. Jim hesitates, warning it's unsafe, but Frank insists it's a shortcut. As they speed through, they notice other cars along the way. Unfortunately, their luck turns when Frank's car gets a flat tire with zombies closing in fast. They scramble to change the tire under pressure, managing to flee just in time before the zombies reach them. After traveling for 2 or 3 days, they arrive at the designated site only to find it deserted. Disheartened, Selena suggests they should return, feeling there's no hope left. As they contemplate their next move, Frank notices a crow feeding on a corpse nearby. In a sudden twist, a drop of infected blood splashes into Frank's eye, infecting him too. In a panicked reaction, Frank unintentionally pushes his daughter Hannah away when she approaches him. Jim moves to intervene, but a soldier intervenes and shoots Frank before he can harm anyone else. The soldier then takes Jim, Selina, and Hannah to safety in his vehicle. They are brought before Major Henry, who assures them of safety within the fortified boundaries they've established. These boundaries are equipped to detect and eliminate any zombie threat with sirens and vigilant soldiers, although a cure has yet to be found. Later, Major Henry introduces Jim to Officer Mailer, an infected soldier chained up to monitor how long a zombie can survive without sustenance. This grim experiment is intended to gather valuable information about the virus. That night, during dinner, the sound of explosions alerts them to a zombie incursion. They rush outside and successfully eliminate the threat. However, tensions rise when an army officer inside the compound behaves disrespectfully towards Selina. Jim is restrained from retaliating by Major Henry, who sends him outside to cool down. As Jim, Selina, and Hannah learn the truth about Major Henry's deception, using false broadcasts to lure people and maintain control, Jim decides they must escape. Major Henry tries to stop them, calling in his soldiers, and Jim is knocked unconscious. However, a loyal soldier intervenes, helping them evade capture briefly before they are locked up. In captivity, a soldier named Farrell reveals to Jim that Major Henry has gone mad with power, misleading everyone about the virus's limitations. It can't spread more than 100 miles due to geographical barriers like water and mountains. Farrell explains their leaders are focused on creating their own isolated world, rather than seeking a cure. The situation escalates when Jim and Farrell are taken to a forest to be executed. Jim manages to escape, but Farrell is tragically shot. Wounded and desperate, Jim spots a jet flying overhead, remembering Farrell's words about uninfected people existing beyond their compound. Meanwhile, Selina and Hannah are captured by Major Henry's men. Jim hatches a plan to rescue them, activating the nearby camp's siren to draw away soldiers under the pretense of a zombie attack. The Major Henry falls for the distraction, leaving Jim an opportunity to free Officer Mailer, the infected soldier. Mailer infects others upon being freed, causing chaos as they flee for their lives. Jim pursues Major Henry to the camp, freeing more captives and sparking a mass escape. As Jim arrives to rescue Hannah and Selina, he swiftly eliminates an officer who had captured them. Selina briefly suspects Jim might have turned into a zombie, but her doubts quickly dissipate as they reaffirm their bond. However, Hannah, acting out of fear for their safety, strikes Jim on the head before realizing her mistake. They regroup and escape together in a car. Inside the car, they are shocked to discover Major Henry hiding. He confronts Jim, accusing him of killing his soldiers, but before he can shoot, Hannah reverses the car to evade him. From the rear, Officer Mailer appears and pulls Major Henry out through the back window, ending him. With their lives narrowly saved, they flee the scene. Later, Selina administers first aid to Jim's gunshot wound with an injection, and when he awakens, he finds himself in a safe haven with Hannah and Selina. They hear the sound of a jet outside, signaling rescue. Overjoyed, they rush out and signal with a white cloth, relieved to finally be rescued. The movie concludes with their elation at being saved, bringing their harrowing journey to an end.